Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Digital Dog Trainer podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing email marketing and more specifically, how and why you should focus on turning social media followers into email list subscribers. And who better to help us navigate this topic than our social media manager, Mandy Robbins, who regularly helps DigiWoof clients do just that, create scroll stopping social media posts that lead to a growing email list. So, welcome, Mandy. Thanks again for joining us on today's episode. I'm excited to talk with you about all things email marketing and social media.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited to dive into this topic with you.
Today's episode really couldn't come at a better time. So I'm sure if you've been seeing any news lately, you've seen things about the potential TikTok ban for one. Another thing being people leaving Meta over recent political things and whatnot. The landscape for social media has been somewhat turbulent over the last several weeks or several months even. I really think that that kind of strengthens our opinion that you should really be doing more than just social media. So if we're just doing Instagram or Facebook or single platforms, we're leaving ourselves somewhat vulnerable. With that said, I think today's topic is perfect to talk about. So actually turning our social media followers into email list subscribers. So to jump right into questions, we're talking a little bit about social media being somewhat turbulent right now. But with that said, it's also a great way to grow your email list. So the first question I have for you, Mandy, is why is social media such an effective tool for growing an email list?
Yeah, I think social media is a great way to find dog parents in your local community and being able to reach them and then getting them off of social media and into your client email list so that you can start serving them up with your upcoming services, promotions, and then also with just great educational content to help them in their training journey to build that trust and loyalty and hopefully become a future client.
Oh, totally. Okay. So when we think about attracting new dog training clients, we think that there's generally a few channels. So there is social media where people are scrolling, getting entertainment and whatnot. And then there's also Google where people are having a bit more intent with what they're looking for. So if you're going to Google, you're searching dog trainer near me and whatnot. So I would think that social media being more of an entertainment, dog owners are on social media, but they're not necessarily looking for like a dog trainer in the moment right then. So then can you talk a little bit about how that then translates to email list subscribers?
Yeah, I think the best first steps you can do as a dog trainer is create a lead magnet, something that will incentivize dog parents to want to take action from your social media posts and then head over to your website. So, creating lead magnets like training guides with maybe it's a potty training for your new puppy, things like that. And then from there, getting those freebies essentially can then spark that interest of, oh, maybe I do need to look at getting some socialization training with my new puppy. It's much more than just meeting other dogs and people or sparking other things like, oh, my dog does bark a lot when the doorbell rings or when someone's walking by. Maybe my dog does have a sound phobia that I need to have a certified trainer take a look at. And this person seems like someone that can help me get there with these goals. So things behavioral concerns that their dogs have that they may not even realize until they see this lead magnet and help them spark those ideas to want to start training.
Totally. So we're getting to people who may not yet be on the path to actually taking the action to resolve those problems, but they have those problems in the back of their head. We're putting some kind of content in front of them that is engaging, entertaining, educational, that then gets them to think of the trade-off of giving their email list in exchange for something being worth it.
Exactly. And to have fun with it. There's so much trendy hooks that you see on Instagram reels that are funny and entertaining that pulls them in, but it's relatable. So being able to add that entertainment piece to it makes the content feel more genuine and it gives a dog owner have the excitement to even want to start training.
Yeah, so it sounds to me like one, if we're incorporating these freebies known as lead magnets, things like ebooks, webinars, free mini courses, checklists, those sorts of things that are a small commitment of time as far as consuming them, I could see that as being a good way of creating more social media content as well. So we're thinking of email subscribers as being one of our objectives for social media. I could think of if we have a few specific like ebook topics, for example, that then is going to prompt us for creating social media posts that we maybe otherwise wouldn't be creating.
Exactly. And it's able to get you a month's worth of content right there, just on a few topics from your different lead magnets. So taking a look at your marketing materials and your educational handouts that you're using. And if you can take content from that and pull out of it to create multiple posts out of it, then again, you're posting consistently and giving users more opportunities to take action to sign up for that lead magnet and then getting them on your client email list.
Oh, totally. And I see that as a way of engaging our audience quite a bit more too on social media. So
Yeah.
beyond the tips and tricks, you can comment and share and whatnot. We have an extra call to action that is getting them to engage with us in a deeper way overall.
Yeah, and do not be afraid of doing storytelling either. Go ahead and share stories with maybe it's with your client's permission of how some problems that they were having with their dog and how you guys were able to overcome those challenges. Or use your own dog as example. I, for my personal social media account, will talk about the frustrations and the challenges of my dog's behavior, especially as a guardian breed who was bred to protect livestock and work on a farm. And we don't live on a farm. So I have a lot of typical guardian behaviors of guarding the home when people walk by and have developed quite a salvia in my own. So I'm sharing that story and different training tips to make me feel more relatable that I'm just like you as a dog parent struggling with these same things, but this is how I can overcome them and be stronger. Storytelling can make a huge impact in growing engagements on your social media platforms.
Yeah, totally. And I would see that as a really good lead in to getting someone to see that guide you have as being really valuable. Often, what we do with our social media clients is create content that is educational, relatable, all of the things that you were just saying. And then at the end of it, we have a call to action that is saying, hey, if you want to learn more about XYZ topic, comment the word puppy guide or whatever that keyword might be, and we'll send you a link to our ebook.
Yes, automations are key. And that's what I love about the Clicks platform. The fact that I can say, comment this word and you'll get that. I actually just created a potty training guide for puppies and been doing a lot of that. It's freezing cold over here in Michigan. We're going through the polar vortex. So potty training in winter is very challenging and very frustrating to say the least. So being able to provide that potty training lead magnet to other dog owners in my area is a way to help them. And then from there, maybe now that they're on my email list, send them some puppy marketing specific emails about upcoming classes or private coaching they should look at to solve all their common puppy antics that they're going through. So great way to reach them.
Yeah, totally. And so you just spoke to something that I find to be very valuable in email marketing, the fact that we can follow up with these folks after we initially send this lead magnet. With social media platforms, as we all know, we don't own our following. If our account gets shut down, if TikTok gets banned or whatnot, we can't go ahead and export those followers into a CSV file or something to keep that and move it elsewhere. If the platform goes, if our account goes, our business potentially goes. And with email marketing, if we move email marketing providers, we still own our list in that we can take that list of emails, move it elsewhere and safeguard it. And really the powerful piece of that is that we can follow up with people, email having a pretty high open rate. So most people that are on your email list are going to open it for one. And then two, not everyone is going to be ready to take action right away from a ebook or a webinar. So the trick is being able to follow up with them as their puppy develops, for example. So if they're getting a socialization guide when their puppy's 12 weeks old, if we can follow up in 4 to 8 to 10, obviously I don't remember all the developmental periods, but basically when they hit like adolescence, if we could hit them with some content around adolescent problems, then maybe that's the point that they actually take action in our business.
Yeah, exactly. And keep that conversation going so that they can keep referring back to you and just be top of mind of, oh, I remember signing up and I got that guide. Now I'm dealing with a feisty teenager right now or dealing with the awkward phase of adolescence. Maybe it is time that I enroll into that adolescent class that this trainer that I've been following now for a few months is broadcasting on their email list.
Totally. Okay. So I think we've illustrated some reasons why to start an email list. So one, to protect your business and your audience so that you're not getting hit with a ban or some algorithm change or whatever it is. You're diversifying your marketing so that if one thing goes down, we have this other thing to rely on. We also talked about how email marketing is really powerful from the sense of being able to follow up with people as well as catching them before they might be in that like active problem solving phase of like, enough, I've had it with my reactive dog. I'm finally going to find a trainer or whatnot. So then let's talk about how dog trainers can go about starting to use social media for email list growth. What would you think is like the first step? Is it going and getting like an email marketing platform, or would you say like we should start with developing that freebie first, or what do you think there?
Yeah, I think developing that lead magnet first is ideal to make sure that you are getting your voice and your brand brand awareness out there and creating content that resonates your brand and what your morals are as a dog trainer and able to reach that audience. And then from there, utilizing email platforms such as Clicks. That's where I use all my email marketing as a dog trainer. And then after you have that lead magnet created, then you can go ahead and create an automation where it's that comment this word and I'll send you this guide or this lead magnet, whatever it is. And then from there, it brings the people off of social media onto your website with the landing page for the sign up form to be able to fill out those details and capture their email audience on your list.
Totally. Start with creating your lead magnet first, being the guide, the webinar, the checklist, whatever that might be. We're thinking of some piece of content that is one, easy to consume. We're not going to want a 90-page book to be a lead magnet because the chance of someone making through a 90-page free book is pretty low. If we're doing like video, keeping it relatively short or engaging, I would say, in my experience, like 45 minutes to an hour, and then making it relevant too, I would think is being a big part of it. I would think we want to be specific to like problems that dog owners have. So if we were to just say 10 tips for new puppy owners, yes, it's a little specific because we're saying like new puppy owners, but we're not saying specifically solve your puppy's mouthing or biting kind of stuff. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and being able to making it more specific to the challenges that they are currently facing. So then it gives them that almost clickbait in a way, wanting to click on to the post and take the action.
Totally. Okay. All right. Great. So then what types of social media posts do you feel like work best for attracting email list signup?
I use a lot of reels and using B-roll that is actually showcasing the problem that I am talking about. So if it is, say, potty training in the winter time and getting this winter survival guide, have the puppy actually outside going to the back room in the snow and talking about, hey, are these frozen potty breaks getting you down or frustrating you? Let me help you with this guide, and comment the word puppy guide or potty training guide, whatever it is, and getting that to send them off to there. Also, I think just even some static ad images would be very relevant too, so they can see exactly what it is. And it's a very a beautiful visual hook of the guide in itself as a PDF. Maybe it's some actually using Canva with their different settings where it's somebody holding a guide on their tablet and they can see that it's a digital PDF guide that I can get. It's not something I have to buy. And then to be able to just get this access and be able to view it digitally from your smartphone or your tablet.
Totally. So I would see that being more like promotional posts. So where we're being very upfront of like, hey, are you struggling with this problem? Download our free ebook on said problem, basically.
Exactly.
Totally. Okay. And so we're thinking like static images to some extent, reels being another instance. And then another one might be like educational posts. Can you speak to that a little bit as far as what does that look like when we're wanting to educate a little bit and then follow up with a call to action?
I think showcasing the cue in real time with B-roll using Reel, film it on your phone. Hey, my dog is struggling to focus. Here's the number one training tip that you could teach your dog to help improve their focus. Showcasing simple nose targeting to the hand B-roll or doing some look at me cues in the video so that they can see, ooh, it's going to stop the scroll so I can see what they're doing and then go, oh, this looks interesting, this cue, and then read the post caption to see how to utilize that to help improve their dog who is struggling to maintain focus.
Totally. So we're thinking like, here's one tip to improve your dog's focus. And so going over that tip a little bit more in depth within the post. And then at the end of the post, having like a call to action that is like, want to learn our other 9 top tips for improving focus, download our free ebook on attention or.
And to keep that conversation going. And then again, to get them off of social media into your email client list. That's just a great full circle marketing strategy right there that you can use with your digital marketing efforts.
So then let's talk a little bit about how dog trainers can engage with their clients a little bit more on social media, leading to more conversion. We've talked a little bit about we can certainly have posts that are saying download our free guide, go to our website at www.website.com/ebook or whatnot. There's other technology that we can use as well to get people from social media onto our email lists, being comment to DM or message automations as well. So can you speak a little bit about what that is, just like plainly how the strategy behind it, and then what it looks like to actually create one of these like automations?
So the strategy behind comment to DM automations is again to get clients or followers to become potential clients, taking action on your social media posts to then improve engagements, because the more comments, likes, shares your one post is going to receive, Instagram or Facebook, whatever the social platform is going to read it on the back end of the algorithm as this is a good post and it should be shared, and it's going to show up more in different explore pages on Instagram or the For You section, and it's sharing it with other people that have engaged with those types of posts or in that community have shown interest in those types of posts, so that you're finding the right followers, creating this automation where it's when they do comment this word, then we are going to send them a link to go to your website, and then that will help grow your web traffic. And then from there, them taking whatever that action might be, whether it's book a consult call with you or getting that lead magnet like we've talked about, so that you can refer back to them and reach out down the road. And also too, creating posts with testimonials, showcasing what you have done with clients, and even sharing photos of the dog with permission and saying, this is what client and their dog and I've been working on, and here's what they have to say about their training experience. Because when people, for myself, when I posted with other dogs in the area, I live in a very small community. So I have found a lot of people that seeing the dog and realize I know that dog. And then they start reaching out to me and saying, hey, I just saw you were training Cardi the other day. I work with so-and-so client and I have a new golden doodle puppy that needs training. Can I get your service and your service information? And then just being able to create that client partnership and build that trust off the back, since you have that network that everyone seems to know.
Well, that's great. Totally. And so it sounds like once we have our lead magnet created, we're then creating a automation that is with a specific keywords. We're thinking of the example of comment the word puppy and we'll send you a link to our puppy guide, or comment the word reactivity and we'll send you a link to our reactivity guide. So these are automations that one can be reused. Maybe we have a bunch of posts that are around the same topic, and then we're using like our guide as a call to action around that specific topics. People keep coming back into our email list that way. And then you brought up a really good point that it also leads to more engagement too. So if you have a call to action of comment the word puppy, and people are then blowing up the comments on that post, the algorithm is going to see that as a good indication of this is worth showing to other people that are within kind of the same audience, basically. And I also like the idea of bringing other folks in the area, like our clients, into this as well, so making sure we're getting permission and whatnot to use their dogs' images in our advertising and whatnot. But that then, for a lot of our clients, is going to be something that makes them proud. So they're going to go share that post as well with their friends and family, spreading the fire there a little bit more.
I just finished up with a puppy recently, and the owner went ahead and shared. We took a cute little photo. I have a simple puppy program certificate that I print out for all my puppy graduates, and they always get it. We'll grab a photo at the last session, and clients eat that up. They want to share their dog. They are proud that their dog finished and completed the puppy program and graduated. So then they're sharing that with all their friends and family on Facebook and Instagram. And right there, from that client sharing the photo on her own personal pages, I had 2 other calls within the next couple hours saying, "Oh, I saw this photo. I'm friends with so-and-so, and I saw they just graduated a puppy owner. I want to reach out for your services." So it's just a way to get almost user-generated content, meaning it's someone else posting your behalf, promoting you in a non-salesy way because they're talking about themselves and how proud they are of their dog, thanking me for their services, yada, yada. But then someone else sees it and they have trust since they know that person. And then they'll come back to you as a dog trainer to use you as their trainer potentially.
Oh, that's great. Totally. And even to our advertisements and social media posts where we are advertising our free guides or lead magnets, oftentimes we see people that don't even have a dog and they're tagging one of their friends like, oh, Rusty needs this and whatnot too.
Yes. I'm like fine with those because again, it's growing. The algorithms are reading that, oh, this post is relevant because it's getting more comments. I'm all for that when people start sharing dogs that I don't even know and tagging people saying, oh, they could use this guide. That's just going to, again, help get you boost your engagement and hopefully get that post into the eyes eyes of other people and then ultimately into your email list.
Yeah, no, that's great. Okay. So then now that we have kind of a clear idea of some things that we can do to start our email list and fill it with people who have very relevant problems to the things that we provide, let's talk about how can we determine how successful we are. So what are some metrics dog trainers can use to tell, is this going right? Do I need to make some changes? All that good stuff.
Yeah, and just looking at the click-through rate, seeing how many people actually clicked on the post, engaged with the post, or did they take action? Did they sign up for your email list to be able to get that free guide? Also, taking a look in the enrollment, meaning how many people commented that word and making sense like, oh, is this even capturing us? Are they even seeing this post and choosing to comment this word to receive the incentive? Maybe the incentive is not good enough, then you can determine, or maybe it needs to be reworked. It's not something that's getting potential clients to stop the scroll and take action. So reworking maybe the lead magnet, maybe even create a couple lead magnets with different versions of text and hooks to pull them on your post. So then see what interacts best with users to determine next steps and how to engage this audience. And great way to check out, to look at the analytics to see what you're posting is actually working.
Yeah, totally. Okay. So I heard a few different layers there of things to check. So one, we have our social media performance to start with. If a post goes out with kind of our call to action, comment the word XYZ, we're getting an indication of, is this call to action even salient enough for people to actually go through with commenting? So that might be a first benchmark to look for. If we're noticing like, oh, we're not even getting any comments, then maybe we need to rework the call to action or the problem solution aspect of it. So maybe our lead magnet is too broad. So like we mentioned, like if we just have 10 tips for dog owners, like that's going to be a little bit too bland, not specific enough for people to take action. It could be something about the visual of the social media post. It could be the hook that we're using. That's not to say that if we do a post and we don't get comments, it doesn't mean that the lead magnet's bad by any means, but it is a good indication to say we need to make the proposition a little bit more attractive for people to actually take that first step. The next layer that we would think about might be the page we're sending them to. So if someone comments, they're going to get a DM that then leads them to the landing page. We can then look at the analytics of that landing page to see of this amount of people that landed on the page, this percentage actually signed up for our lead magnet. And so I generally feel like around 30% of people landing on the page, signing up, that for me, that is a acceptable rate. If we're getting lower than that, I'm generally looking for how can we improve the page to make it a little bit better. Would you agree with that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And so then after we have actual opt-ins, we're looking at things like email open rate, those sorts of things to see are people actually biting at the actual offer that we're presenting as a result of the lead magnet. Awesome. Okay. So then let's talk a bit about challenges and tips that we can give to dog trainers as far as when they're going through this, things to avoid, things they can do to make it easier on themselves, all of that good stuff. What are some common mistakes that we see dog trainers make when they're trying to grow their email list through social media?
I think one of the biggest things is just inconsistent posting. Being able to make sure your posts are out in front of your audience consistently can help then again build your engagements and making sure that you are getting shown in the algorithms and especially in your local community areas that you serve. So that it's actually getting out there and not getting lost in the feeds. I think other things you can easily do is optimize your social media platforms. And you can do it with a lot of the free tools that Instagram and Facebook have to offer. For instance, tagging your location in your post. And by location, I mean the service area that the majority of your clients are at. It's not just tag if you have a brick and mortar, tagging your facility address, because that ultimately is not going to get a lot of reach since not that many people are probably posting themselves and tagging that address. So picking that broad service area so that it does get in the eyes of more people in your community who are the people that you want to actually see your posts anyways, because they can become a potential client if they are near you. Other things too is optimizing your social media bio. There's a lot lot of different strategies and tips. We even talk about that in our social media strategy sessions with people who are Clicks users or looking to possibly become a Clicks user, and sharing with them different tips where they can share their service area in their bio and other things that are actually relevant. As much as it's great to include all of your certifications in your bio, I think that's a mistake a lot of dog trainers make. Ultimately, most dog owners do not know what any of those certifications mean. So being able to just making it more generalized is good. And then on your website, of course, share all those great certifications that you have, like APA or VSNA, all that good stuff with me. And just recently became a family dog mediator. Again, most people have no idea what that means. So I have it on my website with the logos, and then maybe sharing a post about it. Hey, new certification alert. This is what it actually means in the post. But in my bio, it's just certified dog trainer serving this area XYZ, and then including little taglines. So like for me, I always say it's simple training for everyday dog parents. So it doesn't turn the client off potentially thinking, ooh, this is going to be too hard or this is too stuffy. Nope, it's fun training that your dog will actually enjoy doing and learn and grow. So thinking of that when you're doing your bios and your profile.
Okay, totally. So it sounds like one, we need to make sure we're consistent in our social media postings. It obviously doesn't need to be every day or twice a day or anything like that. Just picking a regular cadence to which we're posting on a regular basis, maybe once a week, twice a week, something like that. I would add that we want to make sure we're testing too, because like we mentioned earlier, making sure that if we just do one post about our lead magnet and then if it falls on its face, that's because we haven't tested enough. So it does take some repetition, trying different angles and whatnot. And then you brought up a really good point of making sure that we are optimizing our profiles to be more about the client than about us. So helping Lansing dog owners with terrible dogs or whatever and
Yes.
whatnot.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about how busy dog trainers can stay consistent with promoting their email list on social media. What are some tips we can give them to help with that consistency?
Content batching is a really great way to get multiple pieces of content together. Me, I like to schedule an admin day once a month where I'm going through and creating my content topics and themes that I want to go over. When I am engaging on social media and scrolling, I'll save different trending hooks that I like or different audios. And it doesn't have to be even from dog trainer accounts. It can be from any industry because most industries are using the most popular hooks out there. Doesn't matter what their industry is because they know that's what is working currently in the algorithm. So any accounts that you follow, go ahead and save those. And then when you have that one day, or maybe if it takes you longer to create content ideas and graphics and all that, spend a couple days, an hour each day for a few days, pulling from those things that you've saved and then looking at what's currently trending for that week to create your content and then scheduling it. I always like to schedule my posts, and even with our DigiWealth clients or social media clients, is all of their posts are scheduled a month in advance. So you never have to worry about content not going out. It's already scheduled. And sometimes people say, oh, I really like that post you posted the other day on blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I don't even remember that post because I had it so long ago, but thank you. I'm glad it resonated with you or gave you a training tip you found helpful. So it out and then scheduling it out so that you never have to worry about inconsistency with your posts. And dog trainers, I just threw a lot at you. You probably don't have the time for that if you have a lot of clients that you're scheduling. So don't be afraid to delegate it. I mentioned us as DigiWealth. We have our full social media management services. So you can delegate that on me as your account manager and Josh and our awesome, highly skilled graphic design team to create those assets that are going to stop the scroll with the visual. And then on my side, I help create the content with the trending hooks to get to relate your message while getting people in your service area. So then you can grow your client list and then ultimately do what you would prefer probably doing, helping more people in their dogs rather than being stuck behind a computer doing all the digital marketing efforts. That's one of the mistakes as us as dog trainers. I think we try to take on the whole world and we can do it all. And then that's when we experience burnout. And then ultimately your dog training business doesn't succeed or you have to go back to work and find a full-time job because the training isn't getting the revenue that you're looking for. So don't be afraid to delegate that to somebody else so you can continue growing.
Totally. And I would add that there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing your social media on your own. But if you're experiencing what I call the roller coaster, then it might be worth delegating. So when I was a dog trainer, I was guilty of all of that, trying to do it all on my own and whatnot. And I'd be on this constant roller coaster of things get slow. So then I start doing marketing and I start being really consistent on social media. Then I get busy, things start to fall off. And then, oh crap, no clients are coming in. So then we're back to doing all the marketing. And so it's just kind of cyclical, like hell to really go through all the time. So if you are in a position where, you're not busy enough to really justify delegating, then we would say batching your content for one, being really important. Making your scroll time, so always having it in the back of your head of like, looking for those hooks and whatnot that are getting you to stop your scroll and engage with the particular piece of content. And by no means like stealing that content, but taking the framework from it and applying it to something in your own business. So,
what you specialize in as a dog
yeah,
trainer. We all do. We all have our different ways and methods that we all train. Of course, it's all positive reinforcement because that's what we believe in and the science shows it. But there's different ways that you may train and methods that makes you stand out. So go ahead and showcase that in your content.
totally, totally. Okay. Yeah. And so then to close out our interview, let's just talk about a few actionable strategies dog trainers can take right now. So putting ourselves in the shoes of a dog trainer who maybe they're posting on social media, maybe consistently, maybe not super consistently, and they don't yet have an email list. If you were in their shoes, what is the first step you would take to get things moving on this?
Let's create a lead magnet and let's think about it seasonally right now. What is going on in current dog training? For my area, it's very cold. We have a lot of people who just got a puppy for Christmas. So they're dealing again with puppy enrichment training, needing help since they can't take their new puppy outside on walk because it's too cold. They're struggling with potty training in the snow and just everything else is just common puppy challenges, but how it interferes with this season. So think about it in that way. In the summertime, 4th of July coming up, a lot of most dog trainers you'll see will start doing a lot of posts 3 months leading up to the 4th of July. Maybe that's your lead magnet. It's a 4th of July checklist on how to prepare 3 months up to 4th of July. And then thinking of it in that way, get it created. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can utilize free tools like Canva to create these lead magnets. If it's a one sheet or a guide book or ebook that you can create and then download it as a PDF to share with your followers. So get started there and then creating that sign up landing page on the back end of your website so that you can then get people to take action and sign up and get their email list. You can start growing it. And then with whatever software you're using or platform to tag what that person would be when they do sign up. So if it is a puppy training guide, maybe you put in a tag puppy. So then from there, you can go back and refer to your email list and say, oh, I'm going to start sending them some puppy specific marketing messages because that's what they're ultimately looking for as a new puppy. Or if it's a reactive case, maybe you tag them as reactivity client and then they're getting lead magnets or email sequences with your upcoming workshops for reactivity or your upcoming reactivity class that you'll be teaching at the local facility, whatever it is.
So yeah, definitely we want to start with our lead magnet, get the things in place to facilitate delivery of that lead magnet and getting those people onto our email list, and then start testing. Anything we're doing going to take some practice and trial and error, definitely. So you're not going to get good at this type of marketing unless you actually start testing, seeing what's working and whatnot. So I would just say don't let the fear of failure get in your way of actually getting started on this stuff. Awesome. Okay, so then just to finish up, where can people find you if they're wanting to learn more about social media marketing, email marketing, all that stuff?
Yeah, check us out on DigiWood. We're on Instagram and Facebook, and you can also go to our website. Within our website, you can find our social media management services tool. If you are interested in delegating your social media platforms to someone that is ultimately in it every day, is absolutely passionate about it. Everyone on our team here are skilled marketing professionals that do this day in, day out and absolutely love it. And especially when it's something we're passionate about, which is dog training and positive reinforcement training.
Yeah, totally. Right on. Thank you so much for your time today, Mandy. We're hoping everyone that's listening has gotten something valuable out of the lesson today. And so, yeah, if you're wanting to learn more about how we can help you and your dog training business, visit us at digiwoof.com and schedule a call with Mandy, and we'll be happy to help you. And we'll catch you on the next episode.